Hi, this is Shane Lehane here from Cultural and Heritage Studies in Coláiste Stiofáin Naofa. And it's the second video I'm making for the Work Matters initiative. And the first video I kind of looked at was all of the traditional jobs that one can get within the tour guiding area, but whether it's public or private and so on. But I've been teaching a course in archaeology, history, folklore, the arts for over 30 years now. And it's interesting to me that how many of my students over the years have gone on to get jobs outside that sort of public and private sector tour guide area. In fact, to be fair, if I was giving a title to this presentation, it would be the whole importance and significance of enterprise and people finding niches for themselves, contributing to their communities, contributing to themselves, to the whole world of heritage and the whole world of culture, and finding great satisfaction in doing that. I mean, the obvious one is to set up your own business. And it might seem sort of obvious, but it's something that Irish people tend not to think about too much. We tend to take the easy way out and sort of look for somebody else to look after all the hassle, and we're happy to take a wage. But I can emphasize that setting up your own businesses and being an entrepreneur, and particularly within the whole cultural and heritage sector, is very, very positive. And we've had many students throughout the year who've done that, throughout the years have done that. There's this sort of, one of the things you can become very easily would be a tour guide. And again, there's always great emphasis on your qualifications and what you should and shouldn't have, and so on and so forth. But if you're an outgoing person who can speak and who can string a few words together and who's got good presentation skills, your reputation is second to none. Over the years, we've had students working, doing food tours. We've had people doing historical tours, walking tours. One of my great students, Jerome Norden, down in Kinsale, he does the harbour cruises, and again, taking out his boat and bringing people around, but giving them a very unique and specialised sort of interpretation of Kinsale and the harbour. There are people who are doing family history. Family history is one of the huge sort of new areas ever since the census and other records went online. There are people who are out now becoming genealogists. There's the centre, of course, down in Cove, the Queenstown story. But in addition to that, many people come to an area like that looking for genealogical records and so on, that they can only get so far themselves. So now there's a whole area of enterprise where people can become researchers, if you like, into the whole genealogical family history area. And again, that would be another private sort of development and an arrangement that somebody could manage for themselves. It's interesting that that ability to research really can lead to all sorts of other areas also. There are so many media-based sort of organizations now, both in radio and television and in private production companies, who are always looking for researchers for podcasts, for television, for radio, for all of those sort of things. And if you've got good research skills and you're able to condense material and absorb material and maybe reinterpret it and reimagine material, there's always a place in that sort of sector. So, and that would feed in then to maybe commercial enterprises that are spun from that. Festivals and festival organizers are always looking for people to bring that sort of detail to bear, to literary festivals that we have up and down the country. And then people can volunteer, which is kind of interesting. They're volunteering, particularly, for example, we're coming into a period of commemoration and the War of Independence. Various people sometimes are looking for reenactors and reenactments and so on. We have sort of enterprises which medieval days, and people looking for both researchers and activities into those sort of festivities. And any celebration of local heritage is important. In particular, I'm thinking as well of the kind of leader-funded projects. I'm very, very familiar, for example, with the Historic Graves project, which ties into the genealogy area as well. And people studying and looking at local history and looking at their ability maybe to bring a community together and look at how maybe headstone inscriptions might be used to maybe act as a focus for a local community in a local area. And I suppose it's important to note that the application has a multiplicity of social and economic benefits for an area. I even think of the local history societies, Blarney, Musgrave, the Cork Historical Archaeological, Bandon, you name it. There are so many in every area. And again, people will come to those meetings. There's journals to be published, publications to be brought on. All of those sort of things feed into a community and feed into its sort of sense of itself and its identity. So it's important for us to think about how, if you're getting involved in culture, if you're getting involved in local history, if you're getting involved in heritage, that there are so many different ways that these disciplines can be applied and can be interwoven into potential enterprise and work, but also the benefits that they have for your local community. And the local community benefiting will have other ancillary sort of elements then in terms of tourism and the knock-on effect, the publications that come, maybe the media presence that comes that will bring employment into an area and so on. So I would always say to people that if you're involved in heritage, if you're involved in culture, that there are so many different ways in which it can be applied to your area, and not to neglect it. Don't look for the direct route all of the time.